Hey guys, this is Razihel 501 and today I'm here to show you a replay in the IS-7 with a friend of mine, Kenny514, who is playing in the E50M. Today we're on Siegfried line and we're in a pretty heavily tier 10 game, and we're just moving towards the main town element to try and, well, begin to defend the town. Now at the beginning here, me and Kenny are on Skype, and he begins telling me about how good at ramming the E50M is. So I decide to test out his theory with some Soviet steel. And he's in fact right. The E50M is a very, very good rammer, outclassed only pretty much by the AMX 5120 and AMX 50B. We take a little pop shot at that RU-251, but we don't really have the accuracy to hit him. We're about to try again, but then I believe he gets taken out. As I come round this corner, I spot an enemy E100, and I put a shot into his lower plate. I then tell Kenny that we should tag team our opposition to try and take the fewest hits possible. I use my outer plate to absorb his shell, which reflects just harmlessly into the ground, and then Kenny puts a shot into his track, immobilizing him. I get a very unlucky pen roll, I believe, there, as I do fire into his flat plate and it doesn't penetrate. He then fires and I'm able to sink another shell into his lower plate. Kenny then gets a low roll, allowing me to finish him off for the remaining 108 damage. I spot an enemy artillery making a break for it, but I don't really have the reload to be able to take advantage of him being spotted. Kenny then continues around to try and deal with the IS-7 while I go around to help our light tank against the T110E5. It is being very aggressive and trying to take him out. I'm trying to watch my side just in case the enemy IS-7 behind me attempts to try and help out his ally, but he's not. The Jagdpanzer 100 is then face-hugging this T110E5, which doesn't enable the Jagdpanzer 100 to have the best shot on the T110E5, but he is tracking him and holding him in place for me to kill. And we finish him off. Now in this stage of early game we have already done 3,376 damage. With assistance from allies, for example Kenny, has continuously helped us to gain opportunistic shots on the enemy team. I'm auto-aiming on the Centurion 7/1, as when auto-aiming on the Centurion 7/1 it aims into its, and when the Centurion 7/1 is turning, it aims directly into its frontal drive wheel, which enables you to both pen and do damage. The 7/1 is then taken out by our allied Tortoise, and we are able to move along. Now we're trying to chase down this IS-7, who seems intent upon running away from us rather than facing his frontal armour to us, as he gives us his flat side. We bounce a shot from his allied IS-7 and continue to chase him. However, we get hit hard by the artillery, but that doesn't seem to slow us down too much. We've done 4,929 damage now. Kenny says that he's going after the AMX-50B, and I say that he should wait for my assistance. He says that he's going to cover the far right, so that I should go down the middle of this little kind of dip to try and cut the 50B off from retreat. The 50B finishes off our... Actually, no. The enemy artillery finishes off our artillery. And the 50B begins to run away. My aim's wavering quite a lot, as quite tense at this point in the game, as it's very close, and Kenny and I have both done a lot of damage. It's now that Kenny and I both spot the IS-7 and turn around to go deal with him. I aim for his lower plate, yet the shot seems to bury itself into the ground. We then spot the Waffenträger auf E100, who is simply tracked out in the open, unable to cause any damage to us, and dies after having no effect on us, leaving his IS-7 ally alone to be taken apart by both Kenny and I. As I have exhausted my supply of AP rounds, I am now onto APCR, so I was just able to fire straight at the side of the enemy IS-7's turret and cut straight through it. We now don't know quite where the AMX-50B has gone, because he was last spotted next to the Batchat, but it was a good 1 minute since he was spotted there, and he hasn't tried to attack the Batchat, so we're wondering if he went down to K-line, but he has now been respotted, and he's now taken out our Batchat ally. I take a shot, and it bounces off the extreme angle on his side turret. But he is now cornered. So what I'm thinking is that if I go to the top of the map, I can then start to kind of cut him off and move in alongside the tortoise to kind of herd him into a corner and take him out of the game. For some reason I'm trying to go into a bush right here, but now I'm beginning to move into position where Kenny pinged on the map. The tortoise begins moving into position, as do I. And this is when the AMX-50B shows up yet again. The tortoise misses his shot, and the 50B takes out our tortoise ally. Now, this tortoise was very spiteful about his death, blaming me for his death, but in this position I didn't have much control over where the 50B was going to go, and I wanted to cover all possibilities of where the 50B might go, rather than just following my allied tortoise, as that would leave this entire section of the map over here open. After Kenny picked up the artillery kill, we have now got a Brothers in Arms medal, so long as we both manage to survive. So we begin to close in on where we believe the 50B to be, which is up in the top right hand corner, even though the tortoise is still pinging on E1 where he was last spotted, which is very definitely not where he is. I take a snapshot, didn't think it was going to hit, and then Kenny snapshots the 50B, taking him out of the game, securing his 4th kill, and wins us the game. That was a very tense game. Let's have a look at the post-game stats. As you can see, for this victory we earned 89,752 credits and 1,623 XP undoubled. We picked up the Brothers in Arms medal along with the high caliber, and as you can see, Kenny and I really carried this game. I did 5,876 along with his 4,753 damage. I picked up 3 kills, he picked up 4 kills, and he got 3 more XP than me, but we were both well into the 1,000 XP zone. We made 39,638 credits despite firing the premium ammunition at the end of the game due to us running out of credits. We blocked 3,000 damage with our armour, and I think we absorbed maybe the Centurion 7/1's shell in our track, causing the extra potential damage. And all in all, an excellent game. I've been Revelo501, and I'll see you next time.